What's that plot device you hate with a burning passion? Someone has a serious gaping wound under their shirt and is bleeding out, but the rest of the group hasn't noticed. Hey, you alright? Yeah, it's nothing. Stupid computer hacking, cyber terrorist, or video surveillance scenes that bend the rules of what technology can actually do, for the sake of drama. Meh. Find him. Good guy computer geek. Sir, they've hacked the entire city. I can't find them. They are better at hacking than I am. Meh. I don't care. Pinpoint their location. And you have until the end of this sentence to do so or you're fired. Good guy computer geek. Enhance. 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 They're at City Hall, but that's where we are. Meh. Mother of God. Explosion. Watched an anime last weekend where the police computer genius lady was in a hacking battle with some dude in a hotel, and I crap you not, she was using freaking set of pedals as well as mouse and keyboard. Show about local cops equals FBI is bad. Egotistical. Doesn't know jack crap about the situation. Show about FBI equals local cops are literally inept monkeys with guns and frick up everything. Every crime show ever. Maybe not a plot device per se, but car chases. It's always some crap that the good guy in his 1980s shitbox is able to outrun the bad guy in a brand new Ferrari. Or when halfway through a chase, the good guy suddenly realizes he didn't press his gas pedal fully to the floor. All that, combined with the super short camera cuts that make sure you can't really see what's happening, makes me really hate the movie. Hero, I'm off to fight the villain. You stay here where it's safe. Non-hero, no. Even though I have been a useless shrinking violet this entire movie, I must suddenly become brave and put both of us needlessly at risk by coming with you. Because, goddammit, the script writing for dummies book says we must share more scenes together. Besides, you need me. Hero, obviously thinking, why the frick do I need you? Alright. And then they get in trouble, so the hero nearly dies trying to save them or the bad guy gets away. Wait, I can explain. Then the other character walks away and is mad forever, even though there is a perfectly legitimate explanation. This is especially bad when the explanation takes no more than 1 or 2 lines, but they still decide not to explain because the other character didn't wait. Okay, they turned their back on you and are walking away. They can still hear you, dumbass. Violence hypocrisy. Whenever the villain needs to die, but the hero can't kill them because killing is wrong. Always ends with the villain dying by some other means, and the main characters are always happy the villain is dead. Absolute balls. The hero has usually mowed through a few dozen masked henchmen in order to get to the villain, but they don't count because they don't have names or backstories. Let's put a huge butt timer on the bomb to show when the bomb will explode. Of course the hero will defuse the bomb just a second before the bomb would have exploded. In TV shows, when there's an episode where a skill or hobby is randomly that has not been mentioned before and it is somehow essential for solving the conflict that day, then that skill or hobby is never mentioned again. Especially when it's a hobby and they make it seem like they're advanced participants in that hobby, but it's the first and last time it will ever be mentioned. Oh yeah, I like to pick locks for fun. The beautiful female detective with a troubled past who needs a man to help her. She weighs 95 pounds and can kick the butt of a 250 pounds guy with one punch, but she's so lonely in her crappy apartment. Then she gets a new partner who's a writer, magician, psychologist, mentalist. And first they hate each other but fall in love at the end. Hey, I liked Castle. When the heroes hatch a half-baked plan to save the day without any evidence that it will work, only for it to save the day. Okay, how do we stop him? I read this comic once. Okay, we'll go with that. Day is saved. It's definitely the all the main characters are related trope. That mysterious figure who has been helping you out for 2 seasons. It's your mom. Once Upon a Time is famous for this. I ended up dropping the show in season 2 because of that crap. The following dialogue and its variations. Character: how long do you need to find hack fix this? Double quote. Faceless henchman: at least 5 hours. Character: you got half an hour. Let's go. Grinds my gears every time. Yeah, like I need this DNA sample analyzed right now. It takes 24 hours to analyze. We do not have 24 hours. Alrighty, I'll bend the rules of biology for you. And here's your sample. The balls of creating drama where there is none. Sure, there are others that come to mind that are bad, but this one boils me the most. Any issue that becomes a plot device that could easily be avoided by basic communication infuriates me and makes me think about writing off the whole show. Close runner-up is needless romances or, God forbid, love triangles. Miscommunication as drama. Horrible. Worst thing ever. Disgusting. Miscommunication as humor. Puts me in goddamn stitches. Villains who have the protagonists at their mercy, but for some reason continually delay executing them so they can explain their evil plot in detail, allowing the audience to understand what happened and the heroes to devise a plan to escape. You sly dog, you got me monologuing. For anything set anywhere near modern times, the lack of ability to communicate with someone remotely should never be the limiting factor. Oh no, my cell phone just died, so I have to drive 100 miles per hour across town to tell my partner this super important thing. Wait, never mind. I live in anywhere on the fricking planet and can politely ask any of the 50 people here in this diner if I could borrow their phone for a second. More unrealistic. Someone actually remembering a phone number. The oops, we didn't expect that added difficulty and cost that is used in every home improvement show. Well, do a freaking decent inspection and you would find most of those things. The oops, we didn't expect that added difficulty and cost. That's okay, because they still squeak under the $4.5 million budget. You know, because the husband is a hamster trainer and the wife is a stay-at-home astronaut. When a character's feelings toward another character change on a weekly whim depending on what the current plot requires. It's mostly used as dramas targeted at young adults. I'm looking at you, CW. Yeah, lack of character consistency and development really bugs me. The whole "it's not what it looks like" scenario. Like a girl will trip and land on a guy and they both fall. Cue the guy's GF coming in and thinking he is cheating and runs off before trying to find a logical explanation for what happened. When a character overhears something another person says without any context and flies off the handle, never actually saying what they heard, that would de-escalate the situation far too easily. Just throwing murderous barbs and acting passive aggressive, all in the effort to create more drama and conflict. Hard pass whenever a show does this. Okay, maybe, but I still like Shrek no matter what. When a character magically develops a new unseen power just at the right time to win. I understand that it may be visually appealing to see your favorite character go Super Saiyan, but to me, I enjoy knowing how someone has limitations but uses a strategy to overcome an obstacle. If someone's power ends up being limitless, it's hard to take anything seriously. Someone was being mind controlled or was under the influence of a spell, so none of their actions in the story up to that point count. The misunderstanding that would be cleared up if the characters just talk to each other for 2 goddamn minutes, but they don't, so it causes drama for an entire episode. The main character of any superhero TV series losing one or both parents. It's just so repetitive and stale for me at this point. Also, every time the aforementioned protagonist is having trouble dealing with a bad guy, the former's peers encourage him, and then all of a sudden he's able to beat the bad guy. It's a little tiring. Unnecessary love triangles. Also random affairs. 2 strong main characters want them to have a standoff insert affair with random co-star. Additionally, I cannot stand that third character having no redeeming qualities. They are placed into the story as a manipulative butthole for the female, sometimes male, character to be tricked. Detective, I have vital information for you. Can you meet me at such and such time and such place? Guaranteed that the guy with the information ends up dead in the next scene before he can pass on the information that he could have given on the phone. The gay best friend, who is very gay and does gay things and goes gay shopping and likes gay musicals, and he's very gay and we are so inclusive. Look, we added a gay guy. I hate this, especially being a gay person myself. These characters never have any depth. They are just a body to throw gay stereotypes at. Bull's fire physics in movies. Fire spreads from a candle hitting the floor like the place was covered in gas. Cause really don't explode all the time. It's actually very uncommon. If cars flipped into burning piles of shrapnel when a wheel popped, then no one would drive them. One shot kills. Constant one shot kills. I worked in a hospital. People are pretty freaking resilient to dying. One guy walked into the ER after getting shot in the forehead hunting. 1 or 2 instant deaths sure. 30 plus when it's just people getting winged. I like that John Wick mostly ignored the one shot kills trope. Shoot bad guy falls down. Put one in his head to make sure. The villain's uncountable army of faceless goons. They're only there to pad the story and make the heroes look tough. The villain will have exactly as many as necessary, right up until the heroes figure out how to save the day, and then the army will run out. It's just boring and lazy. And the heroes are allowed to kill those guys, but when it comes to the main villain they must show him mercy or they turn into killers in the name of justice. You have to trust me. Yes, I trust you. Even though you kidnapped me, forced me into this plan against my will, and did nothing to explain why we're here or who you are. When a horror director is so unoriginal with actual, scary plots, she relies purely on gore and gross butt crap for scare tactics. I don't find that crap scary, I find it unnecessary and gross. Or when a director uses startling for scaring. Killing off major characters for shock value, then bringing them back to life so the plot goes on like it never even happened. On a similar note, creating false tension and drama by making it look like a character died when the audience knows there's no way they're really dead. Like Aragorn falling off the cliff in Two Towers. We know he's not dead. The third one is called Return of the King. For frick's sake. If all you know is the title, it could be any king. Or even an undead Aragorn. In sci-fi, the pull the solution out of your butt device. Yes, the obvious example is Wesley saves the ship again from Street TNG, but it happens all the time. Ramp up the technobubble. That'll fix it. Was watching the Voyager last night with David Saint. Hubbins as the fear clown, and they even did it there. Surprise. Janeway isn't on the grid, because we figured out how to do that or something, which would have solved this problem 55 minutes ago. Cassandra truths. A character delivers a warning and is ignored without good reason. I could understand if you have a boy who cried wolf situation where a character is a known bullshitter, but when a character delivers a warning, has no established reason to be disbelieved and has nothing to gain from the lies ignored just to make the plot work, it looks bad. For me it has to be when the wife girlfriend of the hero gets in his way, not understanding the reasoning behind his doing. For example, Bridge of Spies, Zodiac, etc. So stupid and unrealistic. Like an Iron Man where Pepper knew Tony was Iron Man but still decides to date him, then can't handle him being Iron Man and expects him to stop even though she knew what she was getting into when she started dating him. If you're going to introduce time travel, for God's sake give it 5 seconds of thought. Whatever you do, don't be seen by your past self. You'll go mad as CH an overused trope and I find it extremely lazy writing. I wish stories would choose a time travel model and be done with it. The one Harry Potter uses is great. It creates a fate-driven model where time travel just creates a self-fulfilling prophecy that won't change anything. Going on about paradoxes is alright, but be consistent. It was all just a dream. Number. A dream is where you have to do your driving test again, only you are suddenly naked and your former neighbor who has been dead for 6 years is taking the test and the car is made of sausages and it has a flat tire that talks to you and it tells you there is a pagoda where the jack should be. A dream is not a consistent multi-episode story arc in a familiar setting with familiar characters acting in their characteristic way under relatively normal circumstances, but for maybe 1 or 2 dramatic events, or one of them being away for a while, or looking different. The utilization of poverty P to get you to like a character. I mean, sure we feel bad for the character, but you can't make the only reason I like the character to be the fact that I feel bad for them. Okay, burning passion is a bit strong, but I really dislike unexpected pregnancies. Is this the most interesting plot twist for women couples you can think of? The opposites attract trope. Boy meets girl. Within literally seconds of meeting, girl develops an illogical, visceral, steaming hatred of boy for literally no reason other than to foreshadow the scene in which they will be alone, arguing for no reason, where the girl will suddenly and unexpectedly interrupt boy with a deep, passionate kiss. They will then make love to each other and be soulmates. In movies, when they zoom in on a seemingly innocuous item, it's so obvious that the item is going to come back later in a big way. I was doing a Marvel rewatch recently, and during the beginning party in Age of Ultron that meant to be for the Avengers, and a random Korean doctor is there. Oh, okay. I guess that's Chekhov's Korean doctor who is really good at bioengineering. She'll be important later. Misunderstandings because people don't talk to each others. This plot is so old and so annoying. Dear writers, producers, directors, please come up with something new. When there's drama in a show aimed for teens, that could be easily resolved with a conversation or maybe even some responsibility for their actions. My sister loves those shows, but it annoys the heck out of me. I hate when shows have to continually up the ante from season to season and make each new situation more ridiculous. What will happen is that over the course of the season the conflict will continue to spiral out of control for the main character. Then at the 11th hour they need to completely thread the needle to wrap up said conflict, with them coming out completely clean with the desired result tied up with a neat little bow. At some point in season 5 the needle threading gets too absurd for me and the show jumps the shark. Recent examples being Suits and White Collar. I liked these shows early on, but they became nearly unwatchable at the end. I'm currently enjoying Billions on Showtime, but I'm worried we are approaching the event horizon. When a character kills another character in self-defense and then tries to hide the body so they don't go to jail. I feel like that happens a lot. Hiding the body pretty much ensures you'll go to jail for something that wouldn't have landed you in jail in the first place. The genius child archetype annoys me to no end. You mean to tell me this 15-year-old is smarter than this 40-year-old engineer who dedicated his life to building the MacGuffin? That completely invalidates all his work. Why would anyone even try if a kid can just be born with all the intelligence necessary to outperform them? Riri Williams, for example. How the frick can a teenager afford the materials necessary to build their own Iron Man suit? She lives with her single mother, for God's sake. Having super genius teens also makes your readers feel inadequate. I have above average construction skills for a kid my age, yet I can't stack up to any of the inventor types in media. I really enjoy the new Ghost Rider for that reason. He does his best with what he has, and his financial situation is a real burden to him instead of just being a way to gain sympathy. I like that they addressed this with Spider-Man in the MCU. I know people complained about Stark giving him his suit, but it's not feasible for a 15-year-old to be able to pull something like that together. He wouldn't have the resources for it, let alone the knowledge. His own suit definitely looked like something a kid his age would be able to pull together. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.